A windy Friday afternoon in St. Michael, Minnesota for a Lake Conference baseball game on CCX. The Hopkins Royals come north to take on the St. Michael-Albertville Knights. Hello and welcome to STMA High School. John Jacobson along with Craig Dexheimer. And Craig, as we get near the end of the regular season, all of these games become crucial as teams get ready for the postseason and position themselves for section play. These teams in different sections, but still a key game for each of them.
Yeah, definitely a key game for both of them. Home team of St. Michael-Albertville could make a run to win the conference even possibly here.
They got a chance to win out, right?
They do.
And win the Lake Conference if they can win today and their two remaining games on the season. Hopkins had a tremendous senior class last year that carried them to 21 wins last season. Lost to St. Louis Park in the Section 6 tournament. STMA 16-8 a year ago. Lost to Rogers in 8-4A. This year, Hopkins just 7-9 on the season. STMA 10-7. And I think the teams feel like we got a chance to do something special if we can pick things up here at the end of the season and make a run in the postseason of both of their sections. Not necessarily one clear favorite to win. We'll talk more about that and have our first pitch in a moment. STMA Hopkins baseball after this. CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all three of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Hopkins St. Michael-Albertville baseball. Just moments away here on CCX. Craig, before break, I was mentioning how each of these teams, feels like they've got a chance in their sections to make some noise.
Yeah, and we'll get to some of the strategies that both coaches have as it relates to what they think they can do here in the postseason coming up. So, yeah, some interesting things coming.
I mentioned right at the top about the wind. Certainly a cool day. No chance of rain at all, but just 58 degrees. The wind's 11 miles per hour. We're gusting higher than that and blowing in today, Craig. So I'd be surprised if we see anything that gets out unless the wind somehow switches. But it's definitely a steady wind coming in from center.
Yeah, definitely a strong wind out there, as evidenced by the American flag.
Look at the batting order for the Hopkins Royals today. Louis DiGiulio leading off and playing center field. Drew Charney is the catcher. Chase Johnson is the DH today. He's hitting for the pitcher Will Tomanek. Marcus Champagne, the cleanup hitter, hits fourth and plays first base rather. Jake Nordine in right field and Brendan Wendt in left. Van Tellier at third base. Noah Goldman at second base. And Dylan Lindstrom at shortstop bats ninth for the Royals. And defensively for STMA today, around the infield, Curtis Lecatz at first, Ryan Luster at second, Matthew Mollick at shortstop, Joey Rathman at third, Drew Luster in left field, Zach Zanetti in center, Sam Huber in right field. Dylan Glass is the catcher. For the starting pitcher today for the Knights, Thomas Ohado. Ohado's a good pitcher for STMA, and he gets the ball here today, Craig, as they try to close down a win against the Royals. These teams played just a few weeks ago, 2 weeks ago exactly, at Hopkins, with the Royals winning that day over the Knights 3-2.
Yeah, and St. Michael-Albertville trying to keep their win streak alive. They currently have 4 wins in a row and trying to stay hot as they get closer to postseason.
DiGiulio taking the first pitch from Ohado, low for a ball. First 2 have missed, 2-0 to the left-handed hitting center fielder. Takes it, and it's a strike. Otto working quickly. But he's falling behind on the count now, 3-1. And delivers low, and it's a 5-pitch walk to DiGiulio to start the ball game.
Yeah, and talking with the coaches for St. Michael, Otto has some interesting mix of pitches. So it'll be very curious to see how he comes back here from that leadoff walk.
Drew Charney is the catcher, takes the first pitch up high for a ball. That's in for a strike, 1-1. Otto's pitch bounced to the plate. It's stopped there by Dylan Glass. It's 2-1. The Cats holding on to Julio at first. 2 batters into the game here. Popped up and fouled out of play.
Yeah, DiGiulio over there at first, starting to take a little bit of a longer lead towards second, getting a little more aggressive.
Otto comes to the plate, swung on, hit foul, now to play. Count stays at 2-2. The Hopkins catcher. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second base. Backed up as the stolen base by DiGiulio. Throw was onto the right field side of second, but DiGiulio had it stolen anyway. But Otto does get the strike out of Charney, and there's one away.
Designated hitter number 20, Chase Johnson.
Let's see if they've called the runner out. I did not see what happened unless he came off the base afterwards. And, Coach Shakola's going to have a, Michael-Albertville's going to have a talk now with the umpire.
Yeah, John, did he pass over the base and get tagged out? Big break there for St. Michael-Albertville. Let's take a look here. There's the throw. There was no tag, so we'll have to try to get some intel on that.
You saw Coach Michael-Albertville a moment ago. The veteran Hopkins coach had some real good success with this program over the last several years since he's taken over. And for decades, really, Hopkins baseball has been very strong.
Very strong program.
Chase Johnson is a DH, now with bases empty and 2 outs.
Here's another look at it.
Oh, interference on the batter. Okay, that's what the call was.
There we go.
As Charney stepped across the home plate right in front of Dylan Glass. A good catch by our crew on what the call was, and that's the reason DiGiulio's out at second. No tag or anything. It was interference on the batter. This one tagged well by Johnson out to right field. It's off the base of the fence. It'll take a big turn at first, but hold on there. 2-out single for Chase Johnson.
All right, Marcus.
Yeah, Johnson getting that ball caught up in the jet stream there. The wind bringing it back all the way to the fence. So nice 2-out single there for Hopkins.
Marcus Champagne, the first baseman, hits fourth, throw to first, and back in is Johnson. Pitches up high for a ball. Fouled back, 1-1. With the runner going, Johnson fouls it back. Champagne fouls it back. Johnson, the runner, back to first. Dancing off first base. Hotto delivers home. Foul out of play. 1-2.
Yeah, talking to Coach Michael-Albertville pregame, he said one of the keys to winning today is being aggressive on the base paths, and I think we're starting to see a trend already here, John.
Swing and a miss. A strikeout, the second of the inning for Hotto. Champagne goes down and Hopkins retired. No runs on a hit, and they leave one as we go to the home half of the first inning. And STMA comes to the plate with this batting order today. It's Zach Zanetti, the center fielder, leading off. Matthew Malik is the shortstop. He'll bat second. And it's Dylan Glass, the catcher, hitting third. Drew Luster in left, the cleanup hitter in left field. Curtis LeCantz at first base. Ryan Luster at second base. Grant Riedel will bat seventh, and he is the DH today for the pitcher Hotto. Sam Huber in right field batting eighth, and Joey Rathman at third base batting ninth. Offensively for Hopkins today, Champagne at first, Noah Goldman at second, Dylan Lindstrom at short, Van Tellier at third base, Brendan Wendt is in left field, Louis DiGiulio in center, Jake Nordine in right, and Drew Charney is the catcher. Will Tomanek, pitcher this record today, 2-3 coming in on the season. ERA of 2.86, 37 strikeouts in 29 innings pitched for the senior right-hander.
And Will Tomanek is committed to Luther to extend his baseball career. Down in Decorah, Iowa. Great school down there.
I visited that campus back in the day. Beautiful school.
Beautiful school. Great pizza at Mabe's Pizza, Dunning Springs.
That
great
I
place
didn't
to
know.
take a walk. Yeah, did some campus recruiting down there for accountants back in the day, and had a chance to head to Luther several times each year. It was a great spot.
Zanetti, Malik, and Glass stepping in against Tomanek in the home half of the first. And the first pitch is a strike to the left-handed hitting center fielder Zach Zanetti. One-0 pitch a little high, 1-1. Two and one. And now Tomanek, after getting a first pitch strike, missed on the last three. Swing and a miss. He makes the count 3 balls and 2 strikes. And a walk to start off the STMA first, much as Hopkins started with a walk on the top half of the inning. Matthew Malik steps in. Night shortstop takes the first pitch strike. High and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner going, throw down by Charney to second, and it skipped into center field. But holding at second will be Zanetti.
Yeah, Zanetti with a nice jump there to get his speed on the base pass. Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, great jump. Throw down actually between 2 of the Hopkins defenders, but backed up nicely there by center field. And just like that, St. Michael-Albertville with a runner now in scoring position with no outs.
2-1 the count to Malik. Dominic's pitch home. Cut out and then out in front of it was Malik. It's a foul ball, 2-2. Lashed into right field. That's a base hit. Zanetti's going to be waved around. Here's the throw. He's going to be in there safe as it's cut off, and it's 1-0. STMA, 2 batters into the ball game, into the bottom of the first inning. Malik a run-scoring single.
Catcher number 1.
And the 9th strike first.
Yeah, Malik with just a textbook swing, base hit to score Zanetti. So good start here for STMA.
That brings up Dylan Glass. Number 3 hitter, catcher today. Rounds this one. Stopped at third. They'll get the out at second base. A nice play at third base by Tellier. Gets in front of it, stops it, and then throws to Golden covering at the bag to get the lead runner, Malik, out. Glass reaches on the fielder's choice.
Yeah, nice play there by the freshman Tellier. Good stop. Getting that shirt out there at second. Hopkins choosing not to throw over. Smart choice.
Mason Varley is the courtesy runner for the catcher Glass at first. And Drew Luster, the left fielder, is up for STMA. I'm going to go throw to first. Varley back in. Strike 1 to Drew Luster. Swing and a miss. Good pitch there from Tomanek, and it's 0-2. Took a little bit off it, gets ahead in the count, 2 strikes. Cam looks over at Varley at first. Another long look. And comes home. Foul back. Oh, 2 pitch, foul back. No, Luster hangs in there. Throw to first. Varley back in under the tag of Champagne. Runner's going. 0-2 pitch and lifted foul out of play. Luster and Tominick in a battle here. 1 out, 1 in already for STMA in the bottom of the first. Missed out. Oh, called strike 3. Luster thought it was outside, catches the corner. He's punched out, and there's out number 2.
That's a big out there for Hopkins now to move to 2 outs here at the bottom of 1.
Curtis Leckett's the batter. Look at the pitch again, Craig.
Looks like the upper outside corner there.
One ball and 1 strike to Leckett's. First baseman hitting 5th today for the Knights. Outside, 2-1. Two balls, 2 strikes on the called strike. Dominick's pitch, the runner going. And there's a stolen base for Varley.
With the strikeout, 3 outs.
That was not a stolen base. The throw down, the delayed call on the K. And that is the end of the inning. 1 run on a hit, 1 left. And that's the end of the first inning. Knights lead the Royals 1-0 after 1. CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Not a bad day for baseball, but definitely a jacket or sweatshirt day, right? Temperature right around 60 degrees and a little bit of a breeze. Mostly sunny skies as teams get ready for the final week of the regular season and the postseason starting depending on the section, the Memorial Day or day after. Some schools the Saturday of next weekend, so it's coming quick. Spring sports, we talked about it the other night. Greg doing that game and how fast it goes, especially when you had all the rainouts and you got to make up all the games, and all of a sudden the postseason's nearly here.
Yeah, it's a wonderful time of year as teams are gearing up for the big sectional playoffs and the state tourney. And like you said, it's Minnesota. It's very weather dependent, so to not have rain today is a blessing here.
1 ball and 1 strike to Jake Nordine, who's leading off for Hopkins here in the second. Brendan Wendt and Van Tellier to follow. 2-1. Up high, and the count goes to 3-1.
And speaking of the season, Hopkins started strong with a 3-1 season record out of the gates.
Ball driven by Nordine deep to left. Back it goes. Luster makes the catch in front of the fence.
So yeah, with Hopkins starting 3-1 and St. Michael-Albertville starting 1-3 out of the gates, and then things have flipped significantly where St. Michael is on a 4-win streak right now, and Hopkins, on the other hand, has 3 losses in a row. So interesting tale of the beginning and the ending of the season here.
Brendan Wendt drives one to center field, and it's a base hit. Second hit of the game for the Royals. First pitch swinging, and Wendt is aboard with 1 out in the second.
Let's take another look at that hit. It's a solid base hit. Textbook baseball there again. And Hopkins now with a base runner.
Again, first pitch swinging. This time it's Van Tellier out to center, and coming in making the catch, Zanetti with a second out. You can see it run in a little bit harder right at the end. The wind held that ball up. So another out number 2 for Hopkins, and it'll bring up Goldman, the second baseman.
Yeah, that wind, again, picking up here in that outfield, making it a little bit trickier for those defenders to track that ball.
Bunting for a hit is Goldman, but Osseo up with it quickly off the mound and throws over. And Leckitz for the put out at first, and Hopkins gets 1 hit, but that's it. And they're down quickly in the second. No runs in 1 hit. They leave 1. Inning and a half, 1-0 SDMA.
Mom was always very self-sufficient, but we started noticing things were off.
I was forgetting my responsibilities at work.
I told Mom we should visit a doctor.
Alzheimer's. It was hard to hear that.
Early detection gave us time to seek information and support as a family. I've never felt more connected with Mom.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together.
Multiple studies have shown that marijuana can slow both driver reaction and response time, which can be really dangerous. He's here. He's here. Wait. What? I can't drive. Why? My. Oh.
Trying to that flag and the wind that Craig was referencing that last half inning, blowing in or slightly center toward right field. Pull now. It's switched even a little bit since the beginning of the game, but I'll see how that affects things today going forward. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. Knights leading 1-0. Ryan Luster lead it off. Grant Leader and Sam Huber to follow him. Well, Tomatik's first pitch of the inning. Up high for ball 1. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 1 strike to Lester.
Trust yourself, kid. Trust yourself.
Out to center field. Julio's there. I didn't have to move very much. And Lester retired on a fly ball to start the second.
Designated hitter number 10, Grant Riedel.
What's that?
That's lined out in the left field. That is going to be a hit. Going to get to the fence at a drive by Grant Riedel. He'll easily make it into second with a 1-out double.
Yeah, let's see it again here. Here's Grant Riedel with that shot out to left field. Well hit ball all the way back to the fence, and he's in with a stand-up double with one out. Runner in scoring position here for STMA.
The Knights look to add to their lead here in the home half of the second with a runner in scoring position. Sam Huber taking the first pitch inside. That flew off the bat of Riedel, Craig. That was a rocket.
Yeah, there was some exit velocity on that right there.
Dominic's 1-0 pitch. Chop foul. Down first base way, 1-1. One pitch again hit foul down toward first. 1-2. Pitch bounces to Huber, 2-2. Three balls and two strikes. Payoff pitch. Inside for ball one. Second walk issued by Tominek. And the Knights with two runners on with one out here in the second. And Coach Michael-Albertville is going to come out and have a visit with his pitcher.
Yeah, Hopkins defense having a little strategy discussion at the mound. What's interesting here today, John, is in talking with Coach Michael-Albertville pre-game, they're down two of their starters in the outfield, so they had to change things up defensively. Their 5 and 6 hitter traditionally out today due to illness. So have some players in some different positions here, and I'm sure they're just trying to get the feel of where things are at, and also wanting to make sure that they can try to get an out here, another key out with only one out and runners at first and second. So
Paul Chum is the head coach for STMA baseball, and as we talked about, they've got a chance to win the Lake Conference if his club can win today and pick up 2 more wins to finish out the season.
Yeah, talking to Coach Shum and Coach Snell here pregame, they said the past week they really feel strongly about putting things together as a team standpoint. And, you know, John, that's so important as you head into the postseason to have that team camaraderie and that confidence.
Joey Rathman shows bunt, pulls up, run and go, throw goes down to second, and he's out. A little too aggressive coming off the base was Riedel, and he's tagged out on a good throw by Charney. Goldman applies the tag, and STMA loses a base runner.
Yeah, Charney with a great toss down to second there. And that's why he's going to be extending his baseball career at Butler after high school. Good example there of his arm.
Swing and a miss by Rathman, the count 1-1. So now 2 outs and just a runner on first for STMA. Strike 2 on the corner, 1-2 to Rathman.
Huge out there for Hopkins.
Yeah, you hope to prevent a big inning. Getting that out, not letting STMA get much going. Still, Rathman will hang in here at 1-2.
So 24 for yourself, buddy.
Back, and it stays 1-2.
Ball ends up on the spray painted part of the field. I'm guessing that's all the seniors being recognized. We saw that the other evening, John, at Maple Grove for senior night, so I'm guessing that's the same thing here.
1-2 pitch, missed high, 2-2. Now the count to Rathman. If he gets on, it goes back to the top of the order, and Zanetti. Swing and a miss on a high fastball, and Rathman is off. Third strikeout for Tomanek in 2 innings of work. It's an early threat for STMA, but nothing comes of it. They lose a man on the bases. There's no runs, a hit, 1 left. 2 innings complete now. 1-0 STMA. CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. John Jacobson with Craig Dexheimer. We're in St. Michael this afternoon. 1-0 STMA leading Hopkins. We go to the top half of the 3rd inning. And for Hopkins, they'll bring up Dylan Lindstrom, and then the top of the order, Julio and Charney to follow.
Well, John, we knew this was going to be a tight game, and here we are, top of 3. STMA with just a 1-run lead.
And a strike call. One ball and 1 strike. Mojado's pitch outside, 2-1. He does not take a lot of time between pitches.
No.
Thomas gets the ball and he's right back at it, ready to go. This is drilled out into left field and just foul.
That was close.
Hit well by Lindstrom, but just foul down the left field line. And that would have been 2.
Yeah, like you said, John Ojado, very efficient and effective up there on the mound. He does not waste any time. There would be no concerns about the MLB pitch clock here for Ojado.
No. Up high, it's 3-2.
Here we go, Doc.
Lindstrom pops it up. Short right field. And the right fielder Huber makes the catch, and Lindstrom retired for the first out of the 3rd.
Come on, GQ.
Center field number 10 is Lewis DeJulio.
Back to the top of the order, and Luis DeJulio. First pitch strike to him. Walk to lead off the ball game. Missed low. 1-1. Rounder right back to Ojado. There's out number 2.
Yeah, good heads-up defense there by Ojado. Making that a routine ground ball to the pitcher and a nice throw back to first. As a pitcher, you always like to get those, I don't want to call them easy outs, but
Charney's first pitch to him is inside for ball 1.
See you jump off the bat, kid.
2-0. Charney, a 308 average on the season. Lashes this one down the right field line, and it's in for a hit. He's going to dig for second. Charney in for 2. He's going to head for 3. And he is going to go in with a triple. Here's Charney, a 2-out triple to the corner in right field.
Yeah, Charney giving a chance to showcase his speed with that great hit into the corner and right. Let's take a look at it here. Very well played ball positioned out there, and then the spin, slicing it off into the corner, making it a little more difficult for the fielder to retrieve that. And Charney in for a triple.
We'll get a courtesy runner for him. Grady Anderson will run at third for Charney. First triple of the season. Yeah, there wasn't a lot that Huber could do down in third base, or down in the right field corner there. He got to it as fast as he could, but Charney runs well and legs out a triple. All tipped at the plate by Chase Johnson, the DH, and he's behind 2 strikes.
Yeah, with that ball spinning to that outside corner of the foul territory fence, that very well placed spot for Charney to get to 3.
Low and in, 1 and 2 now to Johnson, who singled in the first. Swing and a miss. Osseo gets the strikeout and works out of trouble in the third. They get the 2-out triple, but the strikeout leaves the runner stranded for Hopkins. No runs on a hit, and again they leave 1. After 2.5 innings at STMA today, it's the Knights leading the Royals 1-0.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
From St. Michael this afternoon, Lake Conference Baseball, Hopkins and St. Michael-Albertville. Welcome back as we move to the bottom half of the 3rd inning. The Knights got a run in the first. They'll have the top of the order try to add something against Will Tominick here in the 3rd.
The center fielder, number 33, Zach Zanetti.
Yeah, in the last inning, Tominick having a great ending to get out of a jam there as well. Coming in with some higher pitches. St. Michael-Albertville chasing some of those, and Tominick taking advantage of those high pitches.
Here's Zanetti, who has scored the only run of the game. Checks his swing, and it's ball 1 up high. Fouled away. 1 ball and 1 strike to the Knights center fielder. Two and 1. The last 2 have been close, but have both missed, and it's now 3 and 1. A little bit inside to Zanetti, looking for his 2nd straight walk here. And it's it inside for ball 4. So it is the 2nd walk for
Shortstop number 2, Matthew
the ninth center
Mollick.
fielder, and he's on to lead off the third.
Coach Michael-Albertville was talking about one of the keys to their drive to winning today was to minimize those walks and errors. So one of those key items.
Mollick in front of it and fouls the first pitch off.
Matthew Mollick has committed to St. Thomas to continue playing his baseball career there.
Benetti getting a lead at first. Tominik's pitch up high, 1-1 to Mollick. Drove in Zanetti with the first run of the game. Only run of the game back in the first. Throw to first, and Zanetti back in. Runner going. Ball hit down the line and out of play. 1-2 strikes now to Mollick. Zanetti back on the bag at first. See if they send him again here, Craig, on 1-2. And he's holding. 1-2 pitch fouled away. One-two pitch fouled back again. Good at bat from Mollick here. Good battle between pitcher and batter. Tominik.
Yeah,
Mollick
Mollick
his fourth
really,
strikeout.
Really battling here with the 1-2 count.
Missed high and away, 2-2. Low, and count goes full. Round this one back to the pitcher. They're going to go to second. They get one, throw to first. Not in time. But they get the lead runner, Zanetti. Mollick reaching on a fielder's choice, one away.
Yeah, Tominik getting that ball. Looked over to first, but said, nope, I'm going to get that lead runner at second. And almost got the double.
One on for Dylan Glass. Hit into a fielder's choice, his first at bat. First pitch strike in the corner for him. There's strike two. Missed away and didn't get Glass to chase on that one. It's 1-2. The 1-2 pitch hit in the air out to right field toward the line. And a foul ball. Chased down by Nordine.
Yeah, the Knights, I think, are enjoying the fact that they have a 1-run lead right now. They came from behind in all 3 games they played this week. Sartell and then 2 against Edina. All of them won in the last inning. So a couple of 3 very close games for the Knights already this week.
The sign of a good team, right? You win those close games. Swing and a miss. Throw down to second, and in safely is Malik. Stolen base, but Glass strikes out, and there's out number 2.
Another high pitch strike for the strikeout, but the throwdown not in time. So the Knights with a runner in scoring position with 2 outs.
Lester takes the first pitch strike.
Go, Willie T.
Two strikes. Dominic, a good pitch there. I think Lester froze a little bit. Lets it go for strike 2. Now behind in the count. Hopkins right-hander comes home off the plate. 1-2. Way up high and tight. Certainly had to jump up to get that one from getting to the screen. 2-2. Malik the runner at second. Either infielder really moving toward the bag, so he's able to get a decent lead. Line down the line and into the left field corner. This will easily score Malik. Lester around first. He'll dig for second. He's in with a double. It's 2-0 STMA. A run scoring double for Drew Lester with 2 outs here in the 3rd.
Yeah, Lester and Malik essentially trading places between home and second base there. Very nice 2-out double that hits in fair territory and then tails off into the corner to easily allow the Knights to pick up their 2nd run of the ball game.
Curtis Leckett's the batter. First pitch strike to him. Leckett struck out to end the 1st inning. Dominic's pitch fouled out of play. 2 strikes now to Leckett's. Just off the plate, 1-2. Runner going, and he'll be in. He threw down to second, but getting a good jump from second base and heading into 3rd is Lester. Stolen base for him.
Yeah, heads up base running here. Lester just watching what was going on and took advantage of that throw down to second.
Chop to 3rd. Up with it there. Tellier to Champagne. And Hopkins gets the 3rd out of the 3rd inning. But the Knights come up with another run on a hit, a big 2-out double. They leave 1 through 3. Now, St. Michael-Albertville 2, Hopkins nothing. More baseball on CCX after this.
I'm a first-generation Filipino American. You don't always feel you're a part of the country you live in. It's this weird middle space sometimes that you have to live inside of. But when you meet others that are also living in that space, you'll learn to know that it's its own unique space too.
Get it, slip it, cuff it, check it. High blood pressure silently affects millions of Americans. Staying on top of your blood pressure is as simple as these 4 easy steps. Self-monitoring is power. Visit manageyourbp.org to learn more.
2-0. St. Michael-Albertville leading Hopkins. Thomas O'Hato's got another run to work with as he takes the hill, and liner back to him. And the first pitch by Marcus Champagne. And very quickly, 1 out.
That's one way to keep the pitch count down, right? Throw that inside jammer and right back to the mound for the out.
Look at it again. Jake Nordine at the plate, fouls the first pitch off. No one gets back to the string, got away from O'Hato.
There it is, just that little flare right back to the mound. O'Hato snagging that ball for the out.
Foul back to the screen by Nordine, 1-2. Foul back.
So, John, I did count those yellow and blue circles. There's 17 of them, and there are 17 seniors on St. Michael-Albertville's team here this season, which is their largest senior class they've ever had. So,
called strike 3. Nordine punched out for the second out. That's a huge senior class for baseball.
Yeah, last season they had 14 seniors. This year their largest at 17. So,
4th strikeout for O'Hato. 2 up, 2 down here in the 4th. And Went the batter. First pitch swinging. The right field drops in for a base hit. Hopkins has had a hit in each inning. Let's see if they can get something going now. Went is 2 for 2.
Third baseman number 15, Van Tellier.
yeah, like you said, getting hits in each inning. You go back to the top of 1 where they had that runner running to second that was called out due to the batter interference. So it kind of took away some of their momentum. We'll see if they can pick up some momentum here in the top of the 4th.
Tellier, the batter, took a first pitch strike. Bounce to the plate. A good stop by Glass. Keeps the runner Went at first. Leckett's holding over there. And this one lashed into right field just over the second baseman's head. And then it skips past the right fielder. Runner will be around third. They're going to wave him in. Here comes a throw to the plate. It won't be in time. Hopkins has a run. A single and then an error in the outfield, allowing Went to come all the way around from first base and score, and it's 2-1.
Yeah, Hopkins hitting the ball well. Let's take a look here. Getting it out to the outfield. You'll also take a look and see the air out there as the ball goes past, and then the cutoff over to Leckett's at first base didn't come through, so Hopkins getting on the board.
An error on the right fielder, Huber, allowing not only Went to score, but Tellier to get up to second base. So now the tying run in scoring position, and 1-0 the count to Goldman. 2 balls and no strikes to the Hopkins second baseman. Foul back, 2-1. Otto looks the runner back. He steps off, now back on the rubber. Tapped to short. Throw to first, and the out recorded. Malik Delekets, and Hopkins retired in the fourth, but they pick up a run. A couple of huge two-out hits plus an error gets them on the board. Go to the bottom of the half of the fourth. It's now 2-1 STMA.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
Hopkins gets on the board with an unearned run in the top half of the fourth. And the Knights will try to answer here in the home half of the inning. They'll have the 6, 7, and 8 hitters. Ryan Luster, Riedel, and Huber coming up against Will Tomanek.
Yeah, John Hopkins doing a nice job there in the top of the fourth to close that variance to 1 run and keep it a close game.
After those first 2 guys went fairly quickly, and you get the back-to-back 2-out hits.
Absolutely.
Always huge. 1-0 the count to Luster. He's 0 for 1 today. Count evens at 1-1. Fouled back, and it's 1-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Hit in the air, out to center field. DeJulio drifting to right makes the catch, 1 away. Couple of flyouts to center for Luster today. 1 up, 1 down. And Grant Riedel, the DH.
Riedel.
Doubled in his first at bat, but then was caught off base later in the inning. A throw from Charney to Goldman. Kind of snuffed out what could have been a scoring inning for STMA. Drives this one out to left field, drifting back and under it and making the catch. He is Wendt, 2 up and 2 down.
Yeah, once again, a well-hit ball. Strong exit velocity, and I think the wind coming in from left field, blowing towards right, knocked that down and made it much more of a routine play.
Right fielder Huber, the batter. I'll tip at the plate, 1 strike. Bunting, but foul. And it's 2 strikes. Oh, 2 pitched. Huber stays alive against Tomanek.
Hopkins having a little activity in the bullpen there. Wonder if they're taking a look and seeing how Tomanek comes out of this inning.
Another foul at the plate. Tomanek's allowed 3 hits, 3 walks, has struck out 4 through 2 2/3 innings, 3 2/3. And the 2 runs. Called strike on Huber, and he is out. And the first 1-2-3 inning on either side here in the 4th inning for STMA. 4 innings complete. 2-1. Knights lead the Royals.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
St. Michael-Albertville leading Hopkins 2-1. So we move to the top half of the 5th inning. A pretty good day for Thomas Osseo on the mound for the Knights so far. Not allowed an earned run. Struck out 4, 1 walk allowed, and 4 hits in 4 innings of work. And you mentioned what a busy week they've had. I'm sure they'd love to get as many pitches as they can in the complete game, perhaps, from Osseo here today.
Yeah, especially coming into the end of the season. You know, you want to rest those arms as much as possible and be prepared to make a run deep into the postseason.
Two runs, 3 hits, an error for STMA, 1-5-0 for Hopkins.
Here you go, Doc.
Lindstrom fouling the first pitch off. Dylan 0 for 1 today, a fly to right in his first at bat. Low and away, 1-1. Popped up and out of play. 1-2.
Osseo continuing with his speed in between pitches. He's very quick in between one pitch to the next.
2-2.
Here you go, Doc. Get a rip.
Fouled away.
Dylan Lindstrom for Hopkins at bat, a 9th grader. So definitely some young talent there for Hopkins.
Yeah, we seem to have some, right? Year after year, Hopkins has got good ball players no matter the age. 3-2 now, trying to get on to start the Hopkins 5th. Hit in the air out to center field. Now the left fielder coming over in front of center, and it's Lester in front of Zanetti making the catch.
Center field number 10, Lewis DeJulio.
Yeah, a little flare out to left center there. Wynn knocking that back, making it a little more of an interesting play.
Lewis DeJulio taking a first pitch strike. It's his third at bat. Walking the ground out in his first 2 times up today. Osseo, as Craig mentioned, working quickly, and this one poked down into the left field corner. DeJulio rounds first. He is going to get into second with a 1-out double for Hopkins.
Well, John, that's another double that's seen hitting in fair territory and then tailing off significantly over to the corner in foul territory, but enough to allow DeJulio to get over there for a stand-up double.
6th of the game for Hopkins. And now Drew Charney, who tripled last time, hits this one, and it's a foul ball. Just missed.
Yeah, that one almost a repeat shot of the previous at-bat, but this one just a little bit too far into foul territory. That stays fair. Most likely they're trading places again.
Yep.
Let's take a look at it here. Yeah, right down the line. Just into foul territory.
Well, 1-1 to Charney. On the corner for a strike. Oof, that was close.
That was close.
Glass held it for an extra second there. Couldn't get the strike call, and that's 2-2.
Crowd here in St. Michael also feeling that it was close.
Charney steps out for a moment, now back in against Osseo. 2-2 pitch. Outside, 3-2. That's low, and ball 4. Not necessarily the worst thing in the world for Osseo in the down nights. Charney didn't get a swing, get a chance to get another hit, and now you set up the force play in the infield as well.
Yeah, you wonder if he was getting some direction from the dugout.
Pitch him close, but don't walk him on purpose, right?
Exactly.
Right. And there's Chase Johnson, who's 1 for 2, would like to do some damage at the plate. Takes a strike. Johnson's had a good year, too. I mean, he can hit. Leads the team in the RBIs with 12. A couple doubles, triple, and a home run. So he's easy to get at the plate himself, as good as Charney is. 1-1 now to the Hopkins DH. I'm trying to work out a little trouble here in the 5th. As a called strike. 1-2.
Nice frame, Dylan. Nice frame.
Rounded foul by Johnson. Bounces at the plate, stopped by Glass. Count goes to 2-2.
Get him here, forward. Get him here.
Johnson taking him. The count goes full, 3-2. Julio, the runner at second, Charney at first. 3-2 pitch, hit hard to second. Get the out at second, throw on to first for the double play. 4-6-3. Ryan Lester to Malik, on to Leckett, and a big double play for STMA. No runs for Hopkins after they threaten a hit, and they leave one. Nice defensive play ends it. St. Michael-Albertville holds their 2-1 lead.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
St. Michael-Albertville leading Hopkins by a score of 2-1. Look at the start so far. Some of the pitches that we've seen from Will Tominick today. He's been around the plate, giving up a couple walks, but he's getting guys to swing and miss on pitches, working the corners. Done a nice job, and down just 1 run here as we go to the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, and I think that's why we're going to see Tominick extend his baseball career after high school over at Luther. You know, he's finding those corners in the zone, knowing when to go high in the zone to get that 3rd strike. So very efficient. 4 innings pitched already, 1 earned run, 4 strikeouts, 3 walks, and 2 hits. So good outing so far for Tominick.
Rathman will lead it off for STMA. 9-1 and 2 hitters, and Eddie and Malik scheduled to follow. Tominick's first pitch, outside corner for strike 1. Popped up, foul, not a play. Quickly 2 strikes to the STMA third baseman. Hit in the air down the right field line, first baseline, and out of play.
Yeah, one of the strategies today for St. Michael was their hitting was to be aggressive, work the counts, and know their hitting approach in each at-bat. So they've got an interesting strategy that they discuss with each of their team players here to know the situation they're in and what they need to do.
Another 0-2 pitch coming from Tominick to Rathman. Grounded to short. Go to first, and they retire Rathman. Lindstrom to Champagne, 1 down.
Yeah, nice ground out play there by the 9th grader Lindstrom. Feeling that cleanly. Getting that first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Look at it again. Lindstrom, no problem getting the out there. Swing and a miss here for Zanetti. 1 out in the 5th. He's walked twice. He only scored once, but his second walk, in fact, led to the 2nd run. He was replaced on the bases when Malik hit into a fielder's choice, and again, eventually Malik comes around to score on the double by Lester. So he's been the man at the plate, not with any hits, but a couple of walks for the Knights.
Yeah, it's all about that on-base percentage, right? Getting on base anyway, anyhow.
1-2 pitch. Called strike 3. Antonetti retired. For out number 2.
Shortstop number 2, Matthew Mullet.
6th strikeout of the game now for Will Tominick.
Let's take a look at that pitch. Again, Tominick finding that corner of the zone and getting that called third strike.
Two up and two down, and now Malik.
Way to find your groove, Will.
1 for 2 today. Stolen base, run scored, run batted in. Dominick's 1-1 pitch, low, 2-1. That's hit in the air and well, and a diving catch out in center field. Luis DiGiulio robbing Malik of extra base hits and ending the 5th inning. That was a great diving catch, and STMA retired in order for the 2nd straight inning. Look at it again as we go to break. Hopkins remains within a run, 2-1 as we head to the 6th.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
John Jacobson and Craig Bexheimer back. The home of the Knights, St. Michael-Albertville. 2-1 lead as we go to the top half of the 6th inning. Good baseball here today. Some good defensive plays on both sides to end each of the last half innings. Good pitching, timely hitting, and it all results in a 1-run game.
Yeah, some fun defensive plays to watch. Just a clean baseball game all around.
Marcus Champagne gets a hold of one, drives one to left, and making the catch out there was Drew Luster. That was really tagged, but Luster tracked it all the way and makes the catch in deep left center. 1 away.
Yeah, very well hit ball there. Again, another good defensive play there by the Knights to get that first out here of the top of the 6th.
Jake Nordine takes the first pitch strike. One and one. Fouled back. And 1-2 now to Nordine, is 0 for 2 today.
Stay hot, 14. Stay hot, kid. Not a good hit.
Just missed. Count goes to 2-2. A little dribbler, just off the mound. Osseo up with it and throws on to first. Leckett's the put out. 2 down.
Yeah, good hustle there by Osseo to go after that almost swinging bunt. Like you said, John, a little dribbler. Sometimes those can be tricky. They can get caught up in the infield, but Osseo took care of it. Gets that second out.
Hey, stay high, coach.
First
Stay
pitch
high.
strike to Brendan Wendt. Got a couple of hits tonight for the Royals, and their only run scored. Behind right now, though, 0-2. Osseo back at it, and a swing and a miss. First 1-2-3 inning for Osseo, and he holds his lead. Go to the bottom half of the 6th inning. We remain at 2-1.
CCX Media is the first place you go for local news and sports. But did you know you can sign up for those stories to go straight to your inbox on our website? Simply go to ccxmedia.org. Click on the subscribe button, and from there choose which notifications you want to receive. Then we'll send your favorite CCX Media news, sports, and city events straight to your inbox. Sign up now at ccxmedia.org.
Bottom half of the 6th inning, St. Michael-Albertville holding a 1-run lead, and Craig hoping we're trying to get an insurance run or two here in the bottom of the 6th, right? You always like that for your pitcher to go back out on the 7th and have even a bigger lead.
It's always nice to have a few extra runs there. It's been a tight ball throughout here today.
Middle of the order for STMA, Dylan Glass to lead it off. Dominic continues pitching. First pitch popped up, foul territory, over near the fence and making the catch. Champagne for the out. And Dylan Glass retired on 1 pitch.
Yeah, it's always nice to keep the pitch count down with a foul ball, first pitch fly out in the foul territory.
And it brings up Lester. Drove in what's right now the go-ahead run, perhaps the game-winning run, the double back in the 3rd. He's 1 for 2. Takes a strike, 1-1. Off the plate, 2-1. Three and 1 now. The count to Drew Lester. Lester grounds it to 3rd. Takes a nice hop right to Tellier's glove across the bag. 2 down. 5-3 put out. After today, STMA just 2 games remaining at home here against Wayzata next Wednesday, and that at Eden Prairie next Friday night at Round Lake Park Stadium. Hopkins with 3 games left after today, a non-conference game at home against Anoka. And then late conference games on Wednesday, home against Buffalo, and at Minnetonka at the Veterans Field next Friday, the 26th. A couple of strikes quickly to Chris Leckitz with 2 outs and nobody on for the Knights in the 6th. Foul back. Leckitz pokes it out into foul territory. Diving attempt, but Champaign couldn't get to it.
A good hustle there by Champaign to try to get that ball. Another potential foul ball out, but this one just outside of his reach from his diving stretch there.
Leckitz back in the box with new life at 0-2. And a nice outing for Tominek, trying to get another 1-2-3 inning. Missed a little high, 1-2. Swing and a miss. A strikeout. Tominek's retired 10 in a row. 7th strikeout, and he's given his team a chance as we go to the top half of the 7th inning. Last opportunity, though, for Hopkins. We go to the 7th, 2-1 game.
CCX Media, your source for great local programming, is available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku. Our free app allows you to stream all 3 of our channels live. You also have access to a large on-demand library, including full sporting events and daily newscasts. To find us, go to the store, search CCX, and download our free app. Then sit back and enjoy all of your favorite local content. The CCX Media app, available on Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, and Roku.
John Jacobson and Craig Dexheimer. We go to the top half of the 7th inning. Hopkins trying to get to at least the tying run here and extend this game. They trail the Knights by a run. Good baseball here this afternoon on a cool Friday in St. Michael. Thomas Ohato's first pitch, a strike. Van Tellier to lead it off in the 7th. Tellier 1 for 2 on the plate on the day. Fly out in the single. Waved at that one, and he's behind 0-2. Grounded to second. Ryan Luster, a little trouble with that. Throws to first, and they get him. Ooh, Hopkins thought maybe that Tellier had beat it out. Leckitz with a nice scoop at first. Luster had bobbled it a little bit, had to hurry his throw. And the first baseman makes a nice play to get the grab and get the out. Look at it again.
Yeah, what appeared to be a routine ground ball. And like you said, a great scoop there to get the runner.
Always important to get that leadoff guy, right?
Yes, it is.
Goldman takes the first pitch low for a ball. Hit well, but right to the right fielder, Huber, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, Huber did not have to take too many steps left or right, forward or back there. That was a well-positioned spot to get that second out here in the top of 7.
Dylan Lindstrom, last chance for Hopkins, grounds the first pitch foul. 0 for 2, couple of flyouts for him. Swing and a miss. A couple of those already in this inning for Osseo, 1 strike away. Swing and a miss. He gets a strikeout to end the game. And STMA wins it 2-1. Osseo retiring the last 7 batters of the game. All started with that 4-6-3 double play to end the 5th. And then he gets 1, 2, 3 in the 6th and 7th and ends both innings with strikeouts. And the Knights get the win.
Yeah, both pitchers here closing out the game very strong. And, you know, St. Michael-Albertville in a very good position now to look to make some impactful wins here coming up for the conference. So this was their first step, three total, 2 more to go to win out and win the conference. They have some work ahead of them, but this is a big win for them today.
Look, really good ball game. You know, not a lot of hits, but I thought some really well-played baseball. Good defense, outstanding pitching on both sides. Osseo giving up no earned runs, just the 1 run. Finishes with a strikeout, finishes strong. And on the flip side, Tominik, retiring the last 10 batters, gave his team a chance, and the Hopkins just couldn't come up with the key hits when they needed it at the end. So with the loss, the Royals dropped to 7-10, and the Knights win gets them to 11-7. And as Craig mentioned, a chance to win out and win the Lake, but they've got to beat 2 good teams next week, Whiteside and Eden Prairie, for them to finish out the season. Thanks for all of our crew, and for Craig Dexheimer, I am John Jacobson. Thank you so much for watching our coverage of Lake Conference baseball today at St. Michael. It's the STMA Knights over the Hopkins Royals 2-1. I'm John Jacobson. You have a good weekend, and thanks so much for watching.